Cincinnati Bengals halftime show. I'm Alex with the Frozen Takes crew. I'm with Ray and Fred. Guys,
Not
I
halftime
think this
yet.
game is
We're 2 seconds
Almost
away.
there. Almost
2
there.
seconds away, but overtime
Counting it
or
down.
halftime essentially.
It's happening.
Guys, this game started off a little slow, but Cincinnati kind of has crawled back. They're up 14-10. They could be going up 17-10 here with a field goal. Guys, what's your kind of a little too early for halftime reactions?
I
Take it
saw
away,
a stat
Ray.
before the game that I was talking to you about. Mike Tomlin is 0-6 on Thursday night games against division opponents. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I also said if Joe Flacco can get rolling with Chase and Higgins, that offense could get dangerous. And 17-10 officially halftime. That offense is clicking with Flacco right now. I think Pittsburgh might be in trouble tonight and dropping to 4-2.
Well, to kind of play off of that, Ray, the Bengals started off this game with a bit of butterfingers. They had a lot of drop passes to start this game off, a lot of mental errors, a lot of stupid penalties that kind of set them back, that Aaron Rodgers initially took advantage of by going up 10-0. But the Steelers defense really, once Joe Flacco hooked up with Jamar Chase for that first touchdown, really hasn't had an answer.
No, 2 interceptions and the offense just looking stagnant. You can't win a football game that way.
Nope.
Well,
And this is me just after saying with Fred on our podcast that Aaron Rodgers was playing well, that he was making me eat crow. I don't think this is all on Aaron Rodgers, but I think Aaron Rodgers is looking I don't know if rusty is the right word, but he's not looking like the Aaron Rodgers that we've seen through the first 6 weeks of the season.
We're looking at the Jets version of Aaron Rodgers right now, which, to be honest, I have to say it's the same issue that made him shine last week. The fact that he was able to last week have the awareness of the receivers to where he could at the last minute kind of play call for himself. I don't think that's happened in this game. If it were, he wouldn't be throwing interceptions. The receivers would be where he's throwing the ball. Aaron Rodgers has never been an inaccurate quarterback. It's simply the capability of the routes to develop the way that he wants them to develop. And with the Bengals secondary being hurt right, like they're struggling. They shouldn't be making that much of a defensive impact as what they're making right now. I honestly think it's simply the offense, the receivers not executing and not getting where they're supposed to be in the routes. It might just be a timing thing. It could be, they're gun shy of the jump off the line because of the play call that happened earlier in the game too. The offsides that was called that in previous games had been completely fine, or I'm sorry, the false start. That might have them gun shy as well with their routes.
I think the second half is going to be very telling. The last Aaron Rodgers interception, guys, and Ray, you probably saw this as well. Whenever they kind of went to the all 22 view, Aaron Rodgers was trying to throw his guy to a spot, but he didn't throw to the right spot. That receiver was back here, the corner was here, and he had a safety over the top and help. That ball should have gone to the outside shoulder or should not have gone to that receiver at all. That interception is on Aaron Rodgers. Now, what I think is going to be
You're not talking about the one where it was ripped out of DK's hands, was it?
No, I'm talking about the one that got called back.
Okay. I was going to say that what Fred was saying kind of played into that interception because it's like he said, Rodgers is not an inaccurate quarterback most times, and he hit DK on that one, and the defender just ripped it right out of DK's hands and Bengals ball.
Right, and I agree with that one. And that's what I'm saying. The second interception was on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Again, that ball should have either been placed on the outside shoulder of the receiver or should not have gone there at all, especially
Right.
whenever the corner has outside leverage and you have safety help over the top. That's not the read that you want to be making.
Now,
Yeah.
the other
And I
thing
think
I question is, and Ray, you might be able to give a little bit more insight to this than I can. Um, is Aaron Rodgers a hot-headed quarterback? Meaning, if if the routes if the routes that he's calling and he wants
loaded
to have
question.
done, is is he going to get frustrated by the second quarter that they're not hitting the routes, and he's going to essentially prove to the coaches he's hitting the route he's supposed to hit, and uh, the receivers aren't where they're supposed to be? Is he willing to make that kind of statement and give up an interception? Is Aaron Rodgers that guy?
Uh, you can definitely tell he gets heated if something doesn't get put in the spot or the receiver
And
doesn't hit his spot
let's be
because he
honest,
looks at it as I'm putting the ball where it's supposed to be and you're out of place.
exactly. So the reality is, it call it call it a blemish on Aaron Rodgers' career if he throws one more interception. He's already
Yeah.
had a crazy career. So does it really matter to him that much? He would rather make a statement to the coaches. That's kind of my instinct. He'd rather make a statement to the coaches that, hey, these receivers aren't where they're supposed to be. You need to have a talking to with them, more so
It's kind of
than
funny you bring that up. Right as soon as you're talking about Aaron Rodgers being hothead, they just showed a clip right here on TV where he's biting his running back's head off on the one flea flicker attempt they just tried.
yeah.
Where
Okay,
he's
so clearly he's upset, and if he's hitting his routes the way that the play is supposed to be called, and he's not doing the live action, hey, move this way, move there, if and that might be the offensive coordinator said, just hit the routes, don't try and override a play, and he's trying to make a statement of, hey, I'm smarter than that, but I'll do what you tell me to do, and here's what happens when you do that, or you're handcuffing me, here's how I prove the point.
I think what's going to be telling in the second half is how does Aaron Rodgers respond and how does he bounce back?
Right.
Like Ray said, and like you said, Fred, is he going to try and have that gunslinger mentality of I'm just going to force the ball in and screw you? I'm going to put the
Right.
ball where I want, or is he going to be a little bit more surgical with where he places the ball? I think another key to this second half is going to be for the Cincinnati Bengals, and you got to feed Chase Brown. He has 97 yards and almost 11 yards per touch.
Right.
If you're the Bengals, yes, you want to feed Chase Young, but at the same time, you know, Brown, your running back, Chase Brown, he is tearing it up,
Yep.
which the Steelers do not usually give up that many rushing yards in a single half, and
Yep.
definitely not that much at a clip to running backs. So if you're the Bengals, you want to slow the game down. You want to run the ball effectively, utilize your tight ends, and eat clock and slow this game down because that's how you're going to get the upset win.
Who's currently missing in the Steelers secondary?
I don't think anybody. I could be
'Cause
wrong, but I don't think anybody.
that's the only reason why I would think they would be playing back and giving them room off the line.
The only thing I could possibly think of too is you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and they haven't played a receiving duo like that all year, and they're focusing more on them than the running game.
That
I
could
agree.
be. And I honestly, the way it looked in the first half, it looked like a team that's trying to kind of throw most of their attention to the secondary than the line. They're willing to give up the few yards on the line, but they don't want to give up, a 40-yard run, or a 40-yard pass. So it appears they're doing that. Will they adjust in the second half and play a little closer to the line to stop the running game? And if they do, will that be to the detriment of their secondary?
That's
You know,
that's kind of this kind of give and take where when you're playing a team that's as talented on paper as the Cincinnati Bengals, because in the
right,
first half I think we can all agree the Bengals, or not the Bengals, the Steelers were playing too high safety.
Yeah.
They were playing with a too high safety shell and saying to, or the Steelers, sorry, were saying to the Bengals, we dare you to throw the football against our two safety shell because we're
Right.
going to have safety help over the top no matter where you go. And they were not accounting for that run game. Now that you have Chase Brown that's put up, almost 100 yards at 10 yards, 11 yards a clip in the first half. Now you have to be thinking, okay, do I now stack the box and limit the run, but then I only have a single high safety over the top in middle field closed? Do I
Right.
want to play middle field closed against these wide receivers in T. Higgins and Chase and Lamar Chase? Or do I decide, hey, I'm going to use my middle safety to shadow Jamar Chase and go one on one with T. Higgins and
Yeah.
leave that corner on an island? That's
Right.
the game that they're going to have to decide that they're going to play, and we're going to have to figure that out here in the second half.
And honestly, I think if defensively they're battling that dichotomy, if offensively you have Aaron's head, still in the clouds, um, I I don't think the Steelers bounce back from this. But if something happens in the locker room, um, Aaron Rodgers readjusts, kind of says, "Okay, I proved my point in the first half. Now let's go to work." It kind of depends on how the coaches approach it too. If I were Aaron Rodgers, you think about it, with at any of our jobs, if you have a coworker that's not pulling their weight and you prove a point that they need to be pulling their weight, as soon as the supervisor or boss jumps in and tells them, "Hey, you need to pull your weight," we back off and we're willing to let it go and get back to our job. If they don't and they brush it off, we're willing to lay it on a little thicker, So I think it all depends on the coach's approach to the receivers and the route runs, even the offensive line, because if they're not opening up the path for a receiver to actually get through, to get to the route in time, or to be where they're supposed to be, you know, any of those factors, the coaches need to address during halftime.
I agree. And Ray, I love your opinion on this. This is where I think the game is going to be won and or lost in the second half. I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to switch from a two high safety middle field open strategy to a single high safety going into the second half. They're going to load up the box, look for the Cincinnati tight ends to kind of exploit that, because whenever you go middle field close, single high safety, that's when tight ends can start to work. So look for Cincy to utilize their tight ends. But also, like Fred has said, I do think that Aaron Rodgers is going to get a little bit of that Brett Favre venom and try and go gunslinger here.
Right?
I think, and Fred, I think you missed a golden opportunity here. We have the icy hot bull in the jungle, and I think Joe Flacco is going to be able to adjust no matter how you look at it, because it's 41-year-old quarterback against 40-year-old quarterback. They've seen it all. They know what to expect. And if Joe Flacco continues to click with this offense, I think it's doomsday for Pittsburgh. They need to start doing something, or Bengals just going to walk all over them this game.
Well, I mean, that's very possible, but old man to old man, if you're talking offensive chess game, Aaron Rodgers is capable of changing his strategy. Um, it could be that in the second half we see a lot of uh, a lot of fast release, quick passes for 4 or 5 yards, and the Steelers start nickel and diming the line as much as possible in order to make it happen. If he still keeps going for the bigger routes, the bigger passes, trying to let plays develop while the Bengals are firing on all cylinders, I don't think that development's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to be a run and gun more than a than a shotgun hope and a prayer kind of a second half.
Yeah. And
Well,
what's not going to help Pittsburgh is the fact that they've got since he got the field goal before half, and they're getting the ball to start the second
Yep.
half. So they need to make a
Ooh.
big play right off the bat here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
exactly. They're going to need to get the ball back. Well, fellas, I think we're getting ready to head off into the second half. So let's see what happens here in the second half. Let's see if what we discussed happens, and let's see who's going to end up winning this football game.
sounds good.
Sounds good to me. Good
All
luck,
right.
guys, on your picks. Hey,
Good
Yeah.
luck, and we'll see you
not
guys.
not to rub this in, but it is nice up here at the top. I just
The
wanted
air
to
is
let you
thin.
know. So
The
if you
air
guys
is
ever
thin.
get there, just know it's the view's great.
Hey, Fred, is it almost like you're a giant on top?
I do feel like a giant sometimes. It definitely goes back to the sights that you see from, I don't know, the eyes of a falcon.
Whatever, guys. All right. Enjoy
All
the
right,
second
see you
half,
guys
guys.
post game.
We'll see you post
Yep,
game.
good luck, guys.